Good evening, everyone. It's Jeanette Martin, your brand ambassador for JD Farms. And it must be Thursday at 6 o'clock. So that means we're going to be talking turkey for about the next 10 to 15 minutes. Wow, wasn't that an incredible Thanksgiving? Thank you for tuning in as I educated you on how I love to cook the turkey on the barbecue. So many times our oven is prime real estate when you're making a Thanksgiving or your Christmas dinner or your Easter dinner. So discovering how to do it on the barbecue the proper way will make sure that that turkey turns out all the time. So I'd love to, if you have any comments or questions as I'm going along, this is my favorite. This is my happy place extraordinaire. It's teaching you guys how to make a really good stock or the preparation that goes into your bones after you've taken all the meat off it and that amazing carcass and what you're going to do with it and how you're going to prep your pan to make sure that you get the best out of the bones as well as all the aromatics that are going to go underneath. This is what I went to culinary school for. It's called being a saucier chef, and it's something that is the station in the kitchen that comes before prep. Like you go and you're a prep cook first of all, and they teach you how to keep all the odds and sods, all the peelings and stuff like that, because we always would use it over to the next station in the saucier station. Excuse me, I'm so excited. I'm choking up here. 1 second. So this is your opportunity to, first of all, make a baggie in your freezer. And if you've peeled onions or your carrot peels, excuse me, or you've got some vegetables that aren't quite great in the fridge right now, I wouldn't use your harder vegetable like your beets, but you could use a white turnip, you could use parsnip as the base. So first of all, I've got my big roasting pan, and I've lined it with some parchment paper. The reason why I line it with the parchment paper is it's going to be a little bit easier for me to pick up everything and dump it into my stock pot when these bones are ready. So in the bottom, it's all about creating what's called the mirepoix of aromatics. So I just happen to have like a bounty of different vegetables that I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to do. I have a little piece of like a zucchini that, you know what, is not the greatest. I cut off a little piece on it. I was trained never to throw out anything, both at home and in culinary school. So I'm just going to rough chop this. Doesn't have to be beautiful, and throw it into the pan. Okay. I've got two yellow. They're actually red onions, about the size of my palm. I'm just going to cut and core them, but I'm not going to peel them. And that's because we are going to strain this into the pot. Like we'll put it all into the pot, put the water on it, but I'm going to strain it later. Also, the skin tends to get a nice little caramel color, and it will add to the overall flavor of the stock. You could use a yellow onion or a red onion or a, Walla Walla onion, sweet onion. I just happen to have red right now. Okay, I've got 3 carrots. I'm not even taking off. I've scrubbed them. They're scrubbed. There are 3 organic carrots. I'm not taking the skin off. Giving them about an inch chop. Going into the pan. All that goodness that's going to go in there. I picked up from Tave's Market, the farm market, a bunch of these little peppers. Gonna throw them in as well. And got a bunch of organic celery, but this is the tops, and this is amazing. This is going to have a lot of great flavor. So I'm just going to give this a half chop, and that's going to go in the bottom of the pan. I have a tomato that's kind of getting a little squishy. I could make a sauce out of it, but the acidity as well as the sugars in this tomato are going to add a nice depth of flavor. It's a nice beefsteak tomato. Just going to core it into my pan. It goes, not even taking off that little core. Okay. I've got 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. I am going to give them a bit of a smack to open them up, to open up the skin. I missed the beginning. What are we making? Oh, we're making stock today, Carmela. So we're taking basically a mirepoix of vegetables to go into our stock. So I'll just kind of tilt it up here for you so you can see. It's all laying there. We've got our celery, tomato chunks, our carrot in there, the little peppers in there, some garlic in there. And then I've got a little secret ingredient that I like to use, and that's lemon. So I've got a little piece here, and I've got a lemon that looks kind of sad. Doesn't matter. So what I want to do is I'll cut that little bit off. That'll go in. That'll add a nice little acidity. But I love to take cloves, and I'm going to stud the lemon with the cloves. I love clove in a turkey stock. It adds that warm sweetness in the background that people taste it and they're like, what the heck is that? And that's the clove. So kind of 5 or 6 cloves in each little piece. Put that down. Got my other one here. Great way to use up an old dried lemon as well is you're able to stick these little cloves in it. And remember, these are going to roast and get very sweet. If you've ever seen where they've grilled lemon before they've put it on like a nice piece of turkey or a nice piece of fish, it just brings out the sweetness. And this is going to then go into our stock pot once our turkey bones are ready. So let's get a couple of more of those cloves in there, into the juice. And there we go. So if you can kind of see in there, lots of good vegetables. And then my girlfriend the other day gave me a bunch of herbs and I've dried them. This is just a bit of lemon verbena in the bottom. I've got some dried thyme that I'm just going to put on the bottom there. Knowing we're going to put this into the pot, simmer it down after we prepare the bones, so it doesn't matter that it's big and chunky. So, and this is just some fresh rosemary. So there we go. We've got our pan or mirepoix ready. Now we want to give what we're going to do with our turkey bones. So yesterday, I went and I cut all the meat off. So this little bird, this beautiful gift that I was given, actually fed 3 different ways. Number 1, we had a beautiful meal on Sunday with my next door neighbor, Candace, and we just ate turkey amazingly. Then I picked all the meat off it, and then I gave a little bit more to her for their kids for sandwiches, and I kept a little bit. Then I took a big bag of it, and when it went into Night Shift Ministries, a big pot of soup last night. So that's amazing. So what we want to do, I'm going to put my carcasses out for a second because there's some other magical ingredients underneath. So I've picked all the bones off. Okay, just going to put the bigger bones in there. Got the wing. This is going to cook off. The meat is going to, when we take the stock, that's going to like pull off. That's going in there. Let's just tuck that in there. Then I have all the vegetables that we used on the base when we were roasting the turkey. This has still got a lot of great flavor, roastiness. I'm going to put that in here as well. Okay. Move that around. Now this is the key piece. I've kind of broke my carcass. That's the back and that's the front or the top. This is the key piece in order to get the most flavor out of your bones. You gotta crush them wherever possible and open up the marrow. The marrow in the bone is where the flavor is. So you just want to kind of hear me crush it there. And we want to open that up and put those in like that. We want to, if you heard that, we're opening up all the backbone to get that marrow out of it. So that's in there, that goes. Going to give my hands a little bit of a wipe here. Okay. So now we've got this ready to go into the oven. The marrow has a lot of, oh yes, absolutely. That's what you make bone broth out of. So I'm going to stick this into the oven at 325 and I want to roast these bones down. I want to get these bones very caramely, very deep in color, not burnt, but deep in color. I'll kind of pick them up and move them around and really get a nice little toast on all the little pieces. before I put it into my big soup pot and pour that cool water over top of it. So when I get to that point, I'll come back a little bit later, probably in about 2 hours or 3 hours, and show you the color of what this looks like, and then get it into the pot so we can start simmering it to make that big, beautiful, rich sauce. So I'm just trying to crush the bones even more because I know just the flavor that's going to come out of that marrow. There we go. So there. Oh, yes, yes. You got to break your bones. You got to get that flavor out of there as well. So there we have it. We've prepped our bones. We've treated that little bird extra special, and we're going to get that next flavor out of it. If I was just to put this into a pot of water and simmer it off, it's going to be a very bland looking stock. It'd still be good, but having that extra step of roasting those vegetables to bring the best out of them underneath, roasting the bones, you're going to get a deep, rich flavor as well as a color as well. So there you go. Thank you so much for tuning in. And come back in about 2-3 hours. I want to make sure I get a nice color on this so I can show you the next step of making this incredible JD Farms turkey stock. Enjoy your night, everybody.